Howdy folks. This morning, this is the other soap that I mentioned in the video. This is the only other Irish Stout soap that I have. This one here is one that Jamie mentioned in the video. That's what it looks like here in the container. You'd be hard pressed finding this one here. This one here does not have the hazelnut scent that the one I used the other day. Got the Allen Block no rubber band. We'll talk about soap a little bit more here in a moment. Going with the Black Ice Witch Hazel that's methylated. Got the matching aftershave splash, and I'm using the Shaven Sailor beard oil off camera. Got it whipped up over here in my smooth bottom red bowl here, nice and wet. This is an Omega S brush. Kind of tell it whipped up really nice. I mean, I've had this soap for a while and it whipped up a lather without any trouble at all. This series with the Schick shavers injectors, shaved with this one, kind of see the shape of the handle. The one I'm going to be shaving with today, you can kind of see how they kind of evolved, if you will. Here's this one here. It's got some grooves or ribs in it. Kind of see the tapered tail again. Kind of see how the shape is. And then here's the Schick Injector, the Hydro Magic. Kind of see how that evolved. Anyway, just thought I would bring that up in case you weren't familiar with how how some of these handles may evolve over time, because this handle here was around for mercy. Matter of fact, this whole design, more or less, in general, I guess you might say, it was around for what, a good 20 years thereabouts, maybe longer. It'd been around for a good long while. In my opinion, I can see why. It's a good design. Works well. Hope everybody's Thanksgiving went well yesterday. Today's Friday. Mine, we had worked up ham, turkey, mashed potatoes, of course the green bean casserole. I'll let my wife fix that one. Yeah, I don't care for green beans, not too much. And went over to my parents' house for dessert. Also had dressing, cranberry sauce. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. We had a lot of food, more than enough. We had plenty. Rolls, of course, gotta have bread. Of course, you had to watch a little bit of the football. I didn't watch any until late in the evening, or afternoon I should say. Watch a little bit of the Cowboys-Redskins game. But these, for me, it's interesting in the way of history on how the handles evolve, how they change. And speaking of that sort of thing, decided to catch a video this morning, two of them actually, before I get started this morning. Red Island Shaver was giving his thoughts on, I got something in my eye. Red Island Shaver was giving his take on the shavettes and straight razors, which I thought was pretty cool, because being more or less a straight razor shaver in here recent history, started shaving with shavettes. Now he's got experience with both and kind of being able to give his opinion, his take on both sides, which is, you know, once a person, I guess you might say, takes a step back and is in a particular, you know, situation, you can understand why a person would opt for one side or the other, or even both. because I like shaving with a straight razor from time to time, but I prefer the shave that more times than not because of the, I guess you might say, the quote-unquote ease of maintenance for me. Stropping, in other words, takes a particular skill, as well as getting the proper strop. And in other words, in the beginning, you know, I rolled the edge a few times, so you got to send it back out to get it rehoned. You know, stuff like that with a straight razor. There's a learning curve. There's a learning curve with a shave that too, but usually those mistakes are made on your face. The other video I watched this morning was with Kit. He was talking about the Yaqi DE shavers, and which is for me is a good video because I haven't paid that close attention to them. I mean, I've seen them, I watched them, wasn't too sure the big difference. I mean, outside of the name, you know, the Beast, I just figured it was an aggressive shaver. And oh, I forgot to mention, this is a type G8. I just figured, you know, the Beast being an aggressive shaver and so on and so forth. But he goes in a little bit more discussion about the differences and how to mix and match and what this means to you. And for some folks, that was, you know, probably a lot of information that they were unaware of and gave a better understanding of what they were looking at on the Yaqi's website. I guess you might say being able to make a more informed decision on the razors if you were interested in buying one of their DE shavers. I'll put a link down below to his video in case you're interested in watching that video and see how he's, you know, coming up with what he's trying to explain. If you're wondering, this is a smooth shaver. Once again, these shavers usually come up pretty, in my opinion, fairly inexpensive. There are some Schick shavers outside the first, what, 3, A, B, C. F will be one that will be expensive, very. It'll cost you a pretty penny. I'll put a link for somebody had worked up a lot of Schick information to give you an idea what time frames that these, like I think this one's 1953 maybe. This one would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 55 to 58 maybe. And I think this one here was 48-ish maybe. Anyway, it'll give you some idea what time frames some of your shavers might be. But that F-type, there's a picture of it and you'll see why. It's one that's kind of been in the back of my mind from time to time that I may or may not be very interested in. I mean, I like to have it because it's a beautiful shaver. It looks great, fantastic. I just, does it shave any different than the rest of them? I mean, so in other words, it'd just be one to add to the collection as opposed to the A, B, or C is where I've really got that desire to get one of those. It's like, wow, those first ones are fantastic. I mean, just the engineering of them to have such a compact shaver. Talking about a travel shaver. Now that was a great design. A lot of stuff going on, I guess you might say, in the way of Black Friday sales in the wet shaving community. I'm sure some of y'all have already have been keeping a close eye on those. I guess for the most part of recent history, a lot of focus for me it has been on the hardware. This soap here, you know, sometimes it would help somebody that has a better nose than mine would live close by. This is an Irish Stout scent. Like I say, it doesn't have the hazelnut scent to it that I pick up in the other one. This scent is familiar, but I cannot place it. I just cannot place what I'm smelling. I know I've picked up that scent before. I just haven't been right now. I just cannot place it where I picked it up at, and I think it's one of my Bengalay soaps. Need to figure out which one it is. I lost track of Jamie. She had a website on Etsy, and then if I follow this correctly, then she started her soap. She was putting it on the club, and for a while, and then after that, I don't know what happened to her. I know she was, if I'm not mistaken, she was having some health issues, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. But I know I had to buy it, especially early on when she first started. I say when I first found her, I'll put it that way, because I'm not sure when she started. Matter of fact, I gave a good part of her soaps to the boys when they first started. Give them a good start with some shaving soap. Kept a few for myself, not very many. This one here is one of my favorites from her. I really like this one. I'm not too sure that if there is very many soaps that are considered to be an Irish Stout, if they go by a different name, I'm not sure what those names would be. I still got something in the corner of my eye. I might be able to get through the rest of the shave without digging in my eye to find out what that is. Got a little bit right there. This is a pretty smooth shaver. If I remember right, I think I remember seeing one or two of these on eBay. Now, what case that this comes in originally, I think, I don't have one. And if you see one, and if you're really interested in it, you probably, I guess you might say, you might want to put a little effort into getting it, because I don't see very many of these shavers with cases. Some of the other Schick injectors I see more frequent than not with cases. This one here, I can't recall ever seeing one in a case. And I'm wanting to say, if I remember correctly from the website, I think it comes in the top is clear and the bottom is red, I think. If I remember right. Or it's the one that I saw in the picture. That's the problem I'm going to be running into with the gems, with the cases, because mercy, unless I've got an old advertisement or something to help firm up what my idea is of what the razor came in case-wise with the cases. I may have it mismatched, so somebody that's more knowledgeable than me when I put this together, that they see, they'll hopefully help guide me. You know, of course back then, you know, there's, you know, how they were, you know, swapping stuff in and out. Had old stock from the year before, starting out with a new shaver, how they would work those sort of things. This is a really nice shaver to shave with. against the grain passes pretty smooth. Just about as non-irritating against the grain pass as you could probably get. Very much equal to an Edwin Jagger, if that helps any. At least from my experience. That's the reason why I say these are a lot of fun to shave with, because I'm not overly concerned about my technique, somewhat forgiving, if you will, at least for me. It's kind of odd. It feels more like a Saturday. Yesterday was a long day for me, which started the night before fixing the ham, the turkey, all the potatoes, peeling, mashing potatoes. Our mashed potatoes probably are a little bit different than your mashed potatoes. I guess you might say we believe in the butter. I don't know if you could hear that a while ago. My wife was getting up. She woke up and she was by the bathroom door tapping her feet. I wasn't going to say anything while she was standing there. She was waiting. She's letting me know she was awake. She's ready for me to make her coffee. We had a good time yesterday. It was a good day. You know how sometimes, getting everything prepared, mixed up, ready to go, how stressful things can be for you. And I just let her know things aren't going to be perfect. It's not going to be that way. We're just going to enjoy the day. And it seemed to help her out a lot. Got that one little spot right there. There it is. I'd have to say, especially if you're in pursuit of a BBS, this just might be a good shaver for you and not get irritation. I'm quite sure I could reach that without a problem with this shaver. This one here is pretty nice. I enjoy these Schick injectors. Don't know that I'll be getting much of a report from the Allen block. Preshave feel. It's pretty nice. It feels fairly moisturizing, doesn't it? I've never had any problems out of her soap anyway. In other words, how can you say, leave my face dry or anything like that. It's a shame she still didn't make soap. And that wasn't the only thing that she made. She made other soap other than just shaving soap. Just a little bit of sting, which is kind of odd because I never, over here on this side. Definitely a fun shave this morning. Last night my son decided he was going to shave. Set him up with the focus dynamic again. He's still learning the angle. Still did pretty good. First pass, because the length of time in between shaves is kind of lengthy, so it's still trying to remember what he did last time. And he, his first pass, I don't think I got anything. I said, lather up and try again. See, you have to remember, you're only doing this once in a great while. When you do it on a daily basis, this will come a lot quicker to you, and things will be better for you. He was wanting to switch up. I'm thinking one of these days here pretty soon what I should do is acquire a few of the Lord, was that L6 and Wilkinson Sword. I've already got a few others packaged up for him, so he'll have a really good start. But the I guess you might say more the tools of the trade, if you will. Those two probably should be in his kit also. In other words, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a good shave. And I have to look again, but the best of my memory, if I can find it on eBay again, how much I paid for this. I'm wanting to say I paid $15 for it. I don't remember paying a whole lot for this shaver, and it's in pretty good shape. Of course, it's got a little bit of soap film on it right now, but most of these injectors, I don't pay a whole lot of money for them. I set my dollar amount, and if I don't get it, usually there's another one coming along down the road now. Ones with cases, I'll probably spring just a little bit more for them. The cases to me are important, especially if you're trying to work on a collection, as well as certain shavers that are harder to come by. I'll spring with more money. But anyway, when he was shaving yesterday, he followed up with this. He didn't even get within 5 feet of my wife, and she said she already knew what he used. So with certain noses, using this kind of witch hazel, just something to think about. My nose, I mean, I can still smell it, but give it a moment or two longer, I won't even notice it. By the way, this is an alcohol-free aftershave splash, and I don't, sunflower oil, lanolin. Not real sure what's in this. I guess it's just the combination. The glide on that soap is pretty good. I think that's one of the things I really noticed about her soap, that because I was definitely doing a lot of shavette shaves. That's the reason why I really liked her soap. It seemed to glide pretty well for me. Not only that, sometimes it depends, not always the case, but you can find some pretty good bargains. Soap, shaving soap at a good value. That's the reason why I frequent there from time to time, hunting for the, I guess you might say, the diamond in the rough. Could be smelling good this morning. That pretty much wraps up this morning's shaves. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.